Hey y'all, it's Sarah with Planner Junkies, and today I wanted to go over different things, maybe 10 things, let's see how many I come up with, that you can do with the yearly at a glance in the Hobonichi Weeks and the Hobonichi Cousin. So the Hobonichi Weeks at a glance is 2 pages. It's got very small, so it's not something you're going to be writing large amounts in, but it is great that it's all on one spread and you can see it easily. The Hobonichi Cousin, it's on 4 pages, 6 months and 6 months. It's a much larger space. It's got a larger space at the top and the bottom to add extra info. So there's a lot more room that you can use in the Hobonichi Cousin versus the Hobonichi Weeks. But there's still things that you can do. You can do in both of them. Or so for me, the Hobonichi Weeks is going to be more of a habit tracker and, you know, what's going on kind of that I need to, cleaning schedules and exercise and all of those things that I want to track is what this Hobonichi Weeks is going to be for me in 2025. So I'm going to use it. I'm going to track my weight at the top. I'm going to do like week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and track my weight at the top. I have about 10 pounds more to go, which tends to be the hardest, right? And then I'm going to track my steps. Since these are really small, I think I can write the numbers in here and just track my steps. I could track if I'm running, the distance I'm running. If I'm going to yoga, I could put, you know, a blue dot for going to yoga and a red dot for running. I could do any of those things. I could also do a circle the date there, not the number so much since those are the same, but circle you've got the days of the week along the side, like for your cycle, if you're trying to keep track of that and not have it online somewhere. So yeah, there's a lot of things that you can do. You could definitely do those things in the Hobonichi Cousin, right? You could track your weight across the top. This one has 3 spots, which I think more typically this would be for, you know, what are your top 3 priorities for the month? And then things maybe you need to remember, or birthdays or anniversaries along the bottom, but you can do whatever you want. It's your calendar. So weight, I mean, ideally, I think these are meant to be more like bullet journaling, like an index for the rest of the calendar. So if you have, you know, a trip, a vacation that you're planning in July and you have all of the hotels listed here, then maybe on July 14th, where to go? On July 14th, I would write hotel, so that I would know what page to look for instead of just flipping through and trying to remember where I did that. Or, you know, I have 2 out of 3 kids who have birthdays, and 2 of my 3 kids have birthdays in February. So if I'm trying to, you know, the invitation list, I could do a list here and a list there, one for each of them, and then flip to those pages to find the list of kids they're inviting, or the food they want, or whatever, right? So it would be a little bit easier to use as an index in the Hobonichi Cousin, because you could definitely flip, okay, Sunday, March 9th, you've got all of this space. I do use it for that. I will write, like I was working on finding Airbnbs last night, so I was writing down, okay, here's the address of the Airbnb in this city, and here's the address of the Airbnb in this city, and the hotel we're staying, you know, like that's what I was writing down. So I could go and write March 9th, I could write, you know, Airbnb, or whatever the trip is, I could write that there so that I knew where to flip to without kind of spinning my wheels and trying to dig through and remember, where did I write that? Especially once it gets full, right? Once you're into the later months, you're going to want to know and have this index if that's what you want. I'm okay with flipping through. I do tend to remember, like, oh, what day I did things, and I can kind of be like, that was probably in March, and look around in there. So if you can do that too, then you can skip the whole indexing idea. You could do a gratitude journal, right? I don't think you could necessarily write that in the weeks, but you could, if you can write small, you could write, you know, I'm grateful for my dogs aren't barking during this video, although who knows? You know, I'm grateful for the stranger who bought my coffee. So if you can write small, which I probably cannot, you could write your gratitude just like a one line or one word that would help you remember that, right? You're not writing the entire thing. You're just writing that one word that would help you remember. You could do your goals and what you're working on, have the birthdays and things down at the bottom. You could have a mood tracker, right? Where I put a blue dot if I'm sad and a red dot if I'm angry and a green dot if I'm happy. I could do a mood tracker in here. If I'm trying to do have more days where I don't spend money, then I could do no spend days. Or if I have a side hustle, like a YouTube channel, how much I made on my side hustle in these, on this index, so that I could keep track of that. You could also just use it as a regular calendar, right? Like your birthdays, put in the so-and-so's birthday so that you know kind of or the school calendar, right? Like school gets out this day, but it starts again this day, and they're out for vacation this day. So you could use it as a regular calendar where at a glance, you can see all those things that you need to plan. If you're a writer and you're keeping track of your word count, you could write how many words you wrote that day. Which I think, am I going to do that here? I think I was going to do here what I'm watching, like what shows I've been watching or movies I've been watching or books I'm reading, kind of a media tracker. I was going to use this one more as a media tracker versus the steps and weight is how I was going to use the weeks. But like what I'm watching or what I'm reading, what I'm listening to, I was going to do that in here. And maybe my favorite podcast, my favorite show, my favorite book, all at the top there. I could do that afterwards. So then at a glance, I can see what I liked the best. And then ideas to be read or to be watched down at the bottom is what I was going to do with Hobonichi Cousin. What else? Oh, and period symptoms, medication. If you're, struggling with a chronic illness, definitely keeping track of those symptoms so that you have a log that you can take to your doctor. You can start to see patterns. Oh, hey, when there's a full moon, I get a headache every single time. You could do that. I am going to also use track weather. My daughter gets a headache, so I'm tracking weather on these pages, so then I could track when her headaches come on this page too. So and then look at what the day was and be like, oh yep, it was raining that day and she had a headache. So that would be helpful when we figure all out what's going on. So there's tons of different ways. If you are using your year at a glance differently, could you please add a comment below so that we all can share and have different ideas and see how each person is using this year at a glance, so that we can gather all those ideas together. All right, have a great day.